What's up, y'all? This is part 2 to my 30-part series on all the Ohio correctional facilities. We got 27 adult spots, 3 juvenile detention spots. This is part 2. I'm going to be talking about Noble Correctional. It's a medium security level 2 open dorm joint that's in Caldwell, Ohio, built in 1996, designed to hold 2,642 inmates. Before I get too far into the details, let me just let y'all know this place is out in the middle of nowhere. These towns like this where I'm at, talk about right here, it seems like just your average small country town. And maybe they got, I don't even know, like 500 to 1,000 would be my guess. I didn't Google that. I'm just guessing. Maybe somebody in the comments could let me know. I'm actually curious what kind of town it is because I stared at it for like a year, looking out over the horizon off of this hill, because you're on the side of this hill and you can see this McDonald's. And I think I was there for like 13 months, but while I was there, it was always a joke. People would say about if you escaped, you would have to have your family meet you at that exact McDonald's because it's like the only thing you could see for a long while. So it's like I said, it's not a mountain, but it feels like a mountain because you're elevated and you're looking out over that town. And to every other way, you see nothing but trees as far as the eye can see. You see a highway way off in the distance, and you see that town with just enough of the trees not blocking that yellow arch of the McDonald's sign. Now, I say all that for a reason. It all plays into how the economy is at that place. Because how I mentioned in the last video about Richland, how it's very flooded there with certain things, because Mansfield's kind of like in the city, and people gonna figure shit out no matter what, whether it's running up, drone, all type of different things going on. ODRC's already hip to all that. There's nothing they could do about it. That's why people party and do what the fuck they want in Ohio prisons. They're not able to combat it as much as they want. Matter of fact, before I left, the number one thing that people like, them orange things that's considered the MAT program out here, they started giving them to inmates my very last month. I did 6 years, 9 months, and when I had 1 month left, they was giving them to us. And the whole time I was there, I had to be behind the staff's back and do it all, illegally. But I say all that for this reason. It was up to $1,000 a piece at one point when I was there. So people were using the scale as a ID, a state ID. They'll put it on there, chop it up, boom. And they had this thing called a white eye. And they had a pink eye too. That sounds crazy. I never even thought of that until just now. But the pink eye is where it says inmate, and it's smaller writing. The white eye says inmate, it's bigger writing. They use each one as a scale. They put it up to it, cut it, stick it on there. Okay, it matches, it covers up the whole eye where you can't read the letter I on inmate. Here you go. Obviously, they did a lot more things than that, but that was the cheapest. And when I was there, it was $25 for a white eye, but you could talk somebody into 20. Alright, so I'm going to explain some things about this spot. Now that you know that it's like way out there, if somebody wanted to run up and help their people, they better bring a camping bag and stay the night out there. I don't know about drone shit, because now they're starting to fuck prisons over with them blockers. They're either putting phone blockers or drone blockers in prisons. Usually they don't got both because of how expensive it is, but they are slowly starting to put them in. And sadly, they'll probably have both in every prison in Ohio at some point. So look, I did one on Richland and I showed this exact same view. And for this video, it was really hard for me to decide which one I wanted to post, because they had a really good photo where you could only see the side angles of B house and C house. B1, B2, C1, C2. Off to the left of that picture, you got A1 and A2. But I chose this for the simple fact that I'm probably going to need to use these on all these photos because it shows an aerial view and I can explain what's what. I want y'all to go to the comments and look though, because I'm putting a really good photo in there that they literally took right on the yard, and you'll have a very good idea of what this place looks like. They're literally standing right here. There'll also be a photo of them, of somebody sleeping, just straight taking a nap on the bottom rack. It looks like 3rd Street, but I could be wrong. So anybody who's ever been like that curious about what the inside of an open dorm prison looks like, they done took a picture of somebody taking a damn nap and laying in their rack. I didn't really look close up, but I'm sure you could see little details too of like maybe TVs, fans on the end of the rack, hygiene bag hanging on the rack. To anyone else, that probably sounds dumb, but if you've been locked up, you know. If you know, you know what I was just explaining. Anybody who's been to prison and came home, when I just said that, you're visualizing all them tiny details in your mind right now, probably. Alright, y'all, so let me explain some more about this place. This looks like the same thing on Richland's photo. It's like a bird hand, but it's not the same photo. It just looks like it. You come in here, that's like administration quartermaster. This right here is like the barber. This was commissary. This was the 2 chow halls. You got A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, D1, D2, E1, E2 is the open dorms, and it's sandwiched bottom and top just like I described in Richland. If you've ever wondered how them upper dorms work and how they get there, you'll now see when you get to that photo in the comments, because it shows them staircases, which I got a story about one of them. Now when I got there, C1 over here was ride and row, and it's the same as I described in my one video about Lake Erie, which actually wasn't even part of these. You know, this is part 2, but that was something separate. If you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. They do a ride and row where 1st Street is just that, 2nd and 3rd Street is regular population. Everybody's asking all the ride-ins, what do you got on your record? Are you STG? You got fights, assaults, Rule 19, Rule 4, anything like that? And they were telling everybody, the ones who do are going to go to C2 or D2. C2 is above and C, you know, over here, and D2 is way over here. I knew right there I was smoked. I'm like, because I had both, and I'm like, oh yeah, what they do is they try to put you together with other people who they think might act up. They make you earn being in them other blocks, and I was right, because they ended up sending me straight upstairs. It's crazy how you can have a one building downstairs in C1, super chill. Everybody's kicking it. They're leaving their boxes unlocked. They're just hanging out, playing dominoes, and just real quiet and chill. But then you go to upstairs, you come outside and go around the building up them steps, completely different. Wild, super turn. And what's crazy is when I was there after they said that, not even 10 minutes later, we heard hella rumbling upstairs. Racks moving, all that crazy shit. Somebody's heavy weight going boom, getting slammed. You know, and then we heard the running, like all the running from the COs coming to break it up. So I knew in my heart, I'm like, they're gonna end up sending me up there, and they did. So at one point, we had this situation with the Rough Riders. Remember I told y'all before that there's been multiple times that I have fell back and got back with my guys. This was one of the times. This has actually happened at 3 different spots. Lake Erie, Noble, and Lebanon. Trumbull Walls, never had no issues with my guys. I was active as fuck. Lancaster, never had no issue. Who was active. Lorraine, it really wasn't like that. Richland, it really wasn't like that. So it was like 3 spots I was active as fuck, but ended up falling out and getting beat on by my own people. And then the other 3 spots, I was still active, but nothing was going on, if that makes sense. I gotta hurry these stories up, but look, they kind of tie together with the double R's, because down there they have like a little bit of a bigger prevalence, and they're from Zanesville is their gang, and Rough Riders, or Real Riders, they changed it. Anyways, they paid this old AB dude. He was short, stocky, bald head, tattoos on it to make a beard, and he was a lifer. Can't remember his name. But he ran up and stole on me, and we fell down the flight of steps from the top. You'll see those stairs on the thing. And when we went there, we were resting around, kind of like hitting each other and trying to get our bearings, and someone yelled 12, so we went our separate ways. But the CO came up looking all suspicious, and that was it. The next one was the time that the double R's ran in, and I cannot remember what the other gang was, but they came in C2 like 8 deep and jumped like 3 people. It was fucking crazy, and they all got rolled out. It was a Royal Rumble though, for real.